Most people treat their inner child like a patient in a hospital. I treat mine like the CEO of my empire. If you've been feeling like you're living a version of your life that belongs to someone else, someone more sensible, more responsible, and significantly more bored, it's because you've locked the most powerful version of yourself in the basement. I'm talking about the 7-year-old you, and today we are going to be talking about why age 7 is the quantum portal, the developmental reason you abandoned your original genius, and how to retrieve that quirky, bold, visionary frequency to architect a life that actually feels like you. Welcome to Infinite You Beautiful Souls. I'm Dr. Sheri. I am an entrepreneur of 20 plus years and a spiritual psychologist specializing in human potential and learning and infinite potential and everything esoteric and quantum and creative and spiritual. And I have found that the biggest learning block that we face as adults isn't a lack of information. It is the fact that we have learned how to be small. Right? Small, I just made a whole video. Small is safe, right? Like our brains can't wrap their minds around it. How funny that I said it that way. Anyhow, I bridge the gap between the science, the clinical aspect of development, the quantum reality of the soul, so you can really tune into your infinite potential. I want to help you stop being polite to your programming and start being powerful in your essence. And if you are ready to reclaim your original authority, hit subscribe. Definitely share this video with someone who may need it. If this resonates, let's go back to the beginning and dive right in. In developmental psychology, there is a major shift that happens around the age of 7. It's when children move into what we call concrete operational thought, where we start to understand social rules, we start to compare ourselves to others, and we start to internalize the no's of the world, right? All of the parameters and the boundaries and all of the things. And so this is the moment where most of us trade our magical thinking, our creative essence for social survival. You learned most likely that being quirky was weird, that being too loud was a problem, and that dreaming big was unrealistic. But here is the secret. Your 7-year-old self was the last version of you that was fully connected to source knowing, to soul, to superconscious. She didn't have an imposter syndrome. She didn't have a P&L statement. She just had a vision. And Uranus and Gemini right now, this is the 7-year window for us to break free, to unearth, to disrupt these social rules and retrieve that original creative authority. I made other videos about this, and I definitely do not want to belabor this, but Uranus is moved into Gemini for the next 7 years until 2033. It is the disruptor. It is moving into the house of communication, of being very clear, this hyper self-awareness and authenticity on steroids, as I've been calling it, right? Like, this is the place for you to say, this is who I am, this is what I want, and I'm doing it from the soul level, from the super conscious level, from that aligned level, from that 7-year-old child inside of you. And I know that everyone talks about, your inner child and all of that stuff. I'm talking about the grand, the brilliant, the visionary, the playful. What were you doing at the age of 7? And I will talk more about that in a moment, right? When I had my near-death experience, and I don't need to talk about myself all that much, but when I had my near-death experience, I saw something the way that I looked at age forever. I saw that my soul was not getting older or wiser in a straight line. I saw this 7-year-old version of me that was just present and powerful through time, across timelines. Nothing was linear. It was all concentric. I was silly. I was loud. I was free. I was expressive in the quantum field, right? And so I was clearer. I knew what I want. I saw I saw timelines that I had forgotten about, and I understood that play and joy and love were the highest frequency of freedom. I was silly. I was still the same me through time. And I realized the parameters that I was living in this current timeline, right? And I realized that the serious adult I was trying so hard to conform to be, was actually a mask that was blocking my transformation, my higher self, my manifestations. The quantum field, remember, doesn't respond to the physical things that you are achieving or the goals that you are working toward. It responds to your authentic spark, your vibration, the frequency you hold, the vision that you hold. Who you are being attracts what you want. Who you are being on the inside is creating whatever you are seeing on the outside. And when you retrieve that 7-year-old self within, that playful, most amazing, not held back in any way, shape, or form, you aren't becoming a child, you are becoming integrated, right? We get to relax into the essence of who we are. We get to relax. And so that version of you that can hold, being a millionaire or writing a bestseller or creating an artistic masterpiece or leading a movement, right? Or creating something for sure in this new energy of Uranus in Gemini is really about technology and how we humans can work with AI and to create a better world, right? To be playful, to be creative, right? It is not just about conformity and being serious. It is about certainty. It is about deciding who you are. And that certainty comes from aligning with your soul, your truth, your authenticity, and the 7-year-old who knew she was the center of her own universe. Think about that. Think about who you were at 7. So how do you actually retrieve her? And I want to say this, and I've been asking people and my clients for many, 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 many years, well over 20 years, what were you doing at 7? Right? So we're learning things like, from a developmental standpoint, right? Children play to figure out what reality is. So like, as a girl, right, we were playing house, we played restaurant, we played school, right? And I can't speak for boys, but, my brothers were playing with Tonka trucks outside and digging in dirt. And not that I didn't dig in dirt, like I was a little tiny bit of a tomboy for sure, like climbing trees and, getting grass stains on my knees for sure, like rolling down the hill and rough and tumble and all that good stuff, right? So, but think about what we were playing. We play to make sense of physical reality. But the bigger part of play, I know for me, when we would play house, I didn't want to do dishes or eat fake hot dogs out of a tiny refrigerator. I wanted to go see the world. So I would, go for vacation playing house and come back and tell my little girlfriends like, oh, I just went to England for the summer and now I have this accent. And they would kind of, chastise me and say, well, you can't move to England for the summer and come back with an accent. But that's kind of, how I rolled. But the bigger picture is I wrote plays, I directed them, I made costumes, right? I was always writing, I was always creating. What did your 7-year-old self love to do? That is the energy of Uranus and Gemini, right? For sure, communicating that to yourself, to your cells, to the quantum field, to others. Communicate that. Use technology. Be creative. Create something new. That is where, look at where you being sensible doesn't work anymore, if it feels tight or heavy, that is the 7-year-old inside of you, letting you know it's time to break out. It is time to expand, to become, right? And I'm not saying like go off the rails, go off the deep end, but just like really, really tune into your heart, your mind, who you are, your soul in a multidimensional way. Find one thing you love to do at 7, singing, dancing, drawing, wearing mismatched socks, and do it today. It tells your nervous system it is safe to be me again, right? And for those of us who live in that space of nonconformity, like we know that really well. I think in general, that's my nature. However, I definitely have unnerved people throughout my life for, God, what's the word I'm looking for? Speaking without a filter, doing things without a filter, right? So figure out where your filter is and see how much you can kind of like just push it a little bit, right? Gemini is kind of the astrological sign of the zodiac who, tends to take risks, doesn't believe that gravity applies to them, that kind of energy. So just think of Uranus as the disruptor, being in the space of Gemini that definitely likes to push boundaries, right? It's definitely airy. It's definitely expansive. It is definitely mental. It is definitely communicative. So next time you think of this, look in the mirror and ask yourself, what did I know then that I have forgotten now in terms of your 7-year-old child? What did you know then as an amazing, creative, expansive, no boundary 7-year-old? That you forgot? What did you know then that you have forgotten now? Listen for the whisper, not the logic. Get out of your mind, get into your soul, tune into the energy. You are a creative, expansive, energetic being. And this is the shift that will help you craft the identity, the beliefs you hold, the thoughts that you think that are much more aligned with soul, your authenticity, the essence of who you are. It always comes back to, in my opinion, soul alignment. And I want to say this, and it may not be appropriate for this video, but I'm going to say it anyway. You don't necessarily need to do any of this work, right? You don't need to do this alignment work in the essence of your soul. If it's all about manifesting for you and you don't care about the meaning or the purpose or, your heart center and all that stuff, people can be complete and total jackasses and manifest their reality exactly the way that they see it, because the quantum field is responding to what you believe to be true. So you could be a complete schmuck, but if you're like, oh, I want this, and this, and I'm a powerful co-creator of my reality, and I know that I can get that, you totally can do that too. It's the vibration of the identity you hold. If you believe it is so, that is what you are going to co-create. That is what you will manifest. I'm talking about conscious creation. I'm talking about being in your heart center, caring about being a good person, doing the right thing, elevating the collective consciousness, right? And consciously creating from that space. And the thing about having an identity and a belief system that feels really, really good to you is that you're raising your vibration, you're attracting joy, you're attracting love, you're living in a frequency that is really beautiful and lovely and resilient and just, it feels really good. It's satisfying, right? This is where we get meaning. This is where we are fulfilled. This is where we feel purpose. So, I'm not saying that there are not other ways to manifest more of what you want. I completely understand the science behind it. But what I am saying is that for those of us who want to feel really good and kind and amazing and living in joy, that's the mindset and soul set that I'm speaking about, even though I know there's many other ways to do this thing called conscious creation, right? So And I think I'm going to bring it up now, but I don't have the link for it yet. I'm creating a high-end, amazing, visionary mastermind all about God frequency. It will be a certification, so you can teach it to other people. It's really cool, but I haven't quite developed it yet. But I do have links for a couple of things. My free newsletter, for sure. I will be doing a masterclass soon, all about inviting you into my Infinite You membership, but I won't put the link for that quite yet. So, free newsletter, human design session where you can learn about your energy type, the strategy that will completely change the way you see yourself, see others, see the physical reality, and how you can use your energy in a really strategic way to feel really, really good. So, link for free newsletter, link for human design session, and then last but not least, I created this new, very cool quantum identity playbook, and I designed this tool specifically to help you bridge the gap between wherever you are now, where you would like to be in this new energy. It only costs $7, and it contains the exact prompts to help you bypass your adult logic and retrieve that original 7-year-old freaking genius, right? That expansive, playful, creative, amazing, confident, no holds barred, nothing holding you back energy. Children are aligned with soul, right? We have all felt that when we are tiny, we are so connected to all that is, to source energy, to God, to the quantum field. We can feel it. We know it. We have been there. This is your retrieval manual for you for the next 7 years and beyond. And the link is down below. So my playbook, my human design session, and my free newsletter will all be down below. So remember, play big, have the vision, hold the vision, tune into the vision. Who are you? What do you want? You are amazing. We are all amazing. We come here to be creative, to play, to feel joy, to feel the beautiful three-dimensionality of this earthly playground. Remember, stop being sensible, start being infinite. The 7-year-old in you is waiting to lead the way. Go ahead, hit subscribe, leave me a comment, and tell me one thing that your 7-year-old self knew to be true. You know who you are. Tune in to soul, to that beautiful child inside of you in the most powerful way. And I will see you all in the field, beautiful souls. Namaste.